right, time waits for no one. Here we go. What's the most important person that's involved in this presentation? Somebody guess.
You.
You,
And
not
you.
me, but you guys. And I'm going to totally rip this off from a speaker I heard the other day. There's more information that's in front of me than what's in front of you. Somebody tell me what you think that means. There's more information in front of me. I'm on the stage speaking to you than there is in front of you, which is me in front of you. Somebody tell me what you think that means.
Just by nature of the numbers of the crowds that he's facing, there's so much more intelligence out there in the crowd than the one singular person on the stage.
Yeah. So your greatest strength, our greatest strength is the team that we are part of, and for our referral partners is the fact that you're part of our team and that you can come to us if you have any challenges. Okay, so last week I got to spend Monday, checked in on Saturday, check out on Saturday, but a full 7 days at Camp Pupakea, which is the Boy Scout camp up in the North Shore at the top of Pupakea Road. It's about 10 or 11 acres. I think that location alone is probably worth $20 million, but be in perpetuity forever and ever and ever for the Boy Scouts. So what I learned at camp or was reminded of, and then somebody tell me why I say reminded versus learned. Why do I like that? Why is that my favorite way to talk about information? Remind versus learn.
Because you already know.
We already know.
Yeah.
Am I going to cover anything like super groundbreaking?
No.
It's going to turn your, allow everybody who hears my voice to be able to levitate, to be able to read people's minds, to be able to shoot lasers out of your eyes? No. I'm just going to remind you of things that you already know. Okay? Why reminded instead of learned? We just talked about that. So I have a quote for you guys. It is called the Scout Oath. And so if the Boy Scouts have actually been around since the 1890s, over 100 years in England. They're actually international all around the world. And in the United States, over 100 years. And in fact, the oldest scouting event in the United States is the annual Makahiki that's held here on Oahu. Because this started before we even became a state with the original monarchy with the Queen. Okay. So a Scout Oath, and let's see here. Blaze, read for us the Scout Oath. Boy, hold on a second, Blaze. Was anybody here a Scout? Boy Scout?
That's for a couple months.
Couple months? Close to a couple months?
I was a brownie.
Okay, Blaze, you got to read the Scout Oath, but you got to hold up 3 fingers like you put your pinky and your thumb down, but you hold up the index, middle, and the ring finger. And you got to hold it up to the screen and read our Scout Oath.
Like this?
Yeah, but
No,
close them up, close them up. Bring them together. There you go. Now read the Scout Oath.
On my honor, I will do my best to my duty to God and my country and obey the Scout law to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, morally straight, and mentally awake.
Thank you. That was super awesome. Let me ask you guys something. Would you want your 10 or 11-year-old boy in the beginning of their life having to recite that 3 to 4 to 5 times a month every time they go to a scout meeting, any kind of scout getting together? What do we call this? We teach this in the business world. What is this called?
Script.
A script? What else is it called?
Programming.
An affirmation. That's what I was looking for. Would you like your son to be saying physically strong, morally straight, and mentally awake? Okay. So now we have other things that I want to talk to you about. The Scout Law. All right. So Brooks, read for us the Scout Law.
A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
And again, this stuff is 100 years old. Would you want to work for a company where this was what they said every day? Sure. And this is what they practiced with their employees, with their customers, with their upper management, middle management, front-end staff? Wouldn't you want to do business with a company that practiced all of that? Okay. Next, we have the Scout motto. Anybody want to guess what the Scout motto is?
Be prepared.
Be prepared. Let's see. There it is. Be prepared. And Lord Baden-Powell was the founder of Scouting, and they asked him, what should these scouts be prepared for? What was his answer, if you had to guess?
Anything.
Anything. Just about anything was the actual quote. And what they learn in scouting is first aid, about the weather conditions, camping, survival. They learn about how to why you should get a good night's sleep, believe it or not. I looked at the scout book because they update it every year. It had studies in there about melatonin and looking at computer screens and how it reduces your melatonin production by 22%. I actually read that in the scout book while I was at camp. Does anybody know what the scout slogan is?
Go therefore, young man.
Yeah. So what they do is the scouts are given a coin and they put it in their left pocket. And whenever they do this, a good turn daily, they switch pockets. So a good turn daily, would somebody like to guess what's an example of a good turn, to doing a good turn?
Help a lady across the
Help
street.
the old lady across the street is the classic example for the Boy Scouts. And there was a businessman that had brought scouting to the United States. He was in England. It was a foggy day, foggy evening. He was trying to find something. And a scout came up to him and said, do you need help, sir? I'm looking for blah, blah, blah. The scout walked him all the way to the location. The American businessman, I'm forgetting his name, but he said, I want to pay you something. And the scout said, no, sir, the payment is the deed itself. And in actuality, when boys are doing projects or Eagle projects or any kind of service project, it is completely forbidden to receive any kind of compensation or payment at all when they do a good turn. Okay. Where did I go here? Why do we call so somebody tell me, what's another thing that we can, what these things that I've shared with you, what do we call them? Deeds. There were the scout law, the scout motto, what a scout is.
Culture.
Culture. What else?
Reminders.
Reminders of what we need to, how we need to behave, how we need to act. What else? I'm waiting for somebody to give me that word.
It's a mindset.
Mindset's getting closer.
Values.
Values. And then there's a word that goes in front of values.
Core values.
Core values. Core
Really good.
values. Core values. So what I want to talk to you about, and real quick, and for John and for Sam and for Blaze, these core values you guys can adopt either for yourself personally or bring them to your company if your company doesn't. Blaze, quick question for you, Blaze. Do you, and I'm not, if you don't know it, hey, there's people on our team that may not know it either, so it's not like we're making anybody feel bad here. But Blaze, just what is the core values for Hawaii Pacific Pacific Rim Mortgage? If you had to guess.
Let's grow together is our
Okay,
slogan.
I don't know if that is or that's what. But can somebody tell me what is Team Lally's core values?
Yes.
Humble, ethical, accountable.
Yeah, I was ready. Humble, ethical, accountable, respectful, teachable.
There it is. And these are our core values. And what I want to talk to you is that what we learned was a super valuable lesson that reminded us of how important these core values are, because we are going to Adrian. What does the first line say?
We hire to them.
We're going to hire to them. Abby, what does the second line say?
We train to them.
And Alicia, what does the third line say?
We reward to them.
And Laura, what's the last line
We
say?
fire to them.
And we will fire to them. Okay. So next week, Friday, I'm going to speak on our core values in more detail. And I'm going to, so for right now, because I just want to make it short and sweet on this Friday deal. And I'm going to talk more about it because I'm just going to go through our specific core values and ask for examples. So I want to plant a seed of a thought. I want you guys to think about, how am I humble? How are other people on my team humble? How is being part of this team humble? And I'll give you examples. When we're in our listing or buyer consultations, do we use personal pronouns or, I don't know, what's the other opposite?
Plural.
Plural pronouns?
Yes, plural.
Yeah,
Yes.
singular
Us.
pronouns or plural pronouns.
Even, I would
pronouns.
say even in our emails.
Yeah,
Plural, because it's the strength, that's our mission. We're the strength of our team.
we
right?
are the strength of the team. Not I am the strength of our team, but we. And for Sam and John, if you have an escrow officer, if you have a loan officer that you work with, a home inspector that you work with, a termite guy that you work with, they are part of your team. I would share your core values with them. Isn't it easier working with vendors, with clients, with customers, and having relatives that have similar or are in alignment with these core values? Yeah, then what's the opposite of humble? Somebody give me an example.
Arrogant.
Arrogant, egotistical, self-centered. Would you want to work with either as a client, as a vendor, title escrow officer, somebody that's not humble? No, it's kind of like you kind of avoid those kind of people. All right, so we're kind of at the end. I just want to share some quick ahas. We got about 6 minutes here, and I'm going to rando pick some people here for some ahas. Let's see here. Oh, Jody, are you there? Jody, are you there?
Yep.
What's your big takeaway?
Well, I guess my big takeaway would be making sure that we all know what my team's core values are, but also I love the reminders of all of the core values of the Boy Scouts and Team Lally.
Yes, the core values. So here's an exercise. I've said it before, and I'm going to start doing it for real. I will have a roll of $5 bills. And Adrian, what am I going to do with those $5 bills?
You're going to hand them out when you catch someone displaying our core values.
Displaying our core values. I may even come up to you and say, what is our mission statement and what is our core values? Go. You got half a second to tell me and don't make a mistake. And you get $5. Yes. More importantly, and this is for you guys, I want you to share these in your listing and buyer presentations. Talk to our vendors about them. Will that differentiate you when you're doing a presentation with our clients, talking about core values?
Yeah.
We interviewed an agent. She had some huge core values. How do you know, Adrian, how did we know we tapped into her core values? How was she getting? How was she behaving? She's tearing up.
Yeah.
She was getting emotional. When you reach someone to their core, you're touching their core values. When you reach someone's core, you're touching their core values. People want to be in business with, do business with people that are in alignment with similar core values. You attract them to you, and you don't have to worry about whether they're going to shop you around, talk about commissions and all of that. Where we have trouble with, and you guys agree or disagree, is when they don't have the same core values. They're self-centered. They're all about themselves. They're not ethical. They're not teachable. Okay? So we're going to talk about each of those 5 categories next week. Let's see here. Miranda, what's your big takeaway?
My big takeaway is the Boy Scouts do a good turn daily and don't expect anything in return. I think that's a great reminder for ourselves to come from contribution at all times.
You know, I heard it on Oprah Winfrey, and I forgot who the speaker was. But with our kids, we're too geared towards grades. And there's a lot of educated derelicts out there. What I mean is they know a whole bunch of stuff, but they're not really people you want to hang out with, and they're not very successful. Instead, what she said is that ask your children, instead of what they learned today in school, I mean, ask them that, but instead of focusing on their grades, ask them what's something kind they've done today. What's something kind they've done today? Sam, what's your big takeaway?
The core values adopted by the Boy Scouts over 100 years ago are definitely still relevant and important today.
Yeah, isn't that information timeless? And then John from Maui, what's your big takeaway?
Be prepared.
Be prepared. That's a good one, right? When does Costco get bought out of toilet paper and water?
Yeah.
Already when the hurricane came. You guys should be stocking up on toilet paper and water right now. But do you have, we're coming into hurricane season. Do you guys, is your home prepared for things like that? Do you have a go bag? Being prepared. If I do a trunk check on your car, do you have blank purchase contracts? Do you have things to repair signs? Do you have, I had bolt cutters. I mean, I had all kind of stuff. I have extra lock boxes, things like that in your trunk, because a lot of our business is done, not in a stationary office, and we're all around the place. So be like a Boy Scout. It's unfortunate, but in today's modern society, when someone says, what are you, some kind of Boy Scout? It's actually kind of derogatory. But I would say, yes, I am.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yes, and I'm proud to be that. By the way, so Angelo's my last one. I'll give you guys some scout history. I actually went through scouting with my son. I've been to the Jamboree, which is in Virginia. 40,000, 50,000 scouts showed up. We had, what is it, left foot? I don't know, what's something foot is like a band. Anyway, and then the guy from Dirty Jobs was the MC. I mean, it was huge. I've been to Alaska with my son. I've been did a 50-mile hike in Haleakala, and it was just super awesome. Now I'm going through what we call a retread. I'm going through again with my 10-year-old Angela, and he loves it. So I asked him, what was his 2 favorite things from camp? What do you think are the 2 favorite things that boys like, or even girls, from going to camp for a whole week? Yeah, I don't know if you guys know. Would know if you had to guess.
Campfire.
Playing with fire,
Yeah.
and what's right behind fire, and or equal.
S'mores.
No,
Marshmallows.
fire and knives.
Oh, no.
Playing with knives and fires. They're actually taught how to use a handsaw, an axe, a hatchet. They're actually, and they have this they call it the blood circle and all of that good stuff. All right. We got 900.
901.
Yes. All right. Thank you guys. And we love you guys and girls. Thank you for being in business with us, and have an awesome Friday and weekend. Aloha.
Thank you, Attilio.
Thank you, guys.